Fair was never promised. For as long as I can remember, people have complained that life isn't fair. To be honest, I've joined them more than once. I remember one school in our district that always seemed to enjoy just enough hometown advantage to make everyone else roll their eyes. Then one year, their football team was caught wearing illegal cleats. No one was especially surprised. Looking back, I smile at how deeply those things mattered to me then. Even as a teenager, life had a way of reminding us that fairness and reality weren't always close friends. The funny thing is that I don't think I ever truly believed life was perfectly fair. Not really. Even as a child, I understood that good people sometimes lost and dishonest people sometimes won. Still, I hoped. I hoped hard work would be rewarded. I hoped integrity would matter. I hoped doing the right thing would somehow tip the scales in the right direction. As I grew older, I realized I wasn't trying to make life perfectly fair. I was simply trying to improve my odds. When I played basketball, I had no problem smiling and joking with the referees before tip-off. Did it change anything? I honestly don't know. Could it hurt? I didn't think so. Years later, working in sales and management, I found myself doing much the same thing. Some people appreciated confidence. Others preferred humility. Some store managers respected polished shoes and heels. Others were much more comfortable talking with someone who looked like she just walked in from the warehouse. I wasn't pretending to be someone I wasn't. I was simply paying attention. Looking back, I think I spent a lot of years trying to improve my odds. Hard work mattered. Preparation mattered. Relationships mattered. Character mattered. Those things still matter. But eventually life handed me circumstances that couldn't be negotiated, prepared for, or outworked. My parents were going to grow older whether I read the room correctly or not. Some opportunities were going to disappear despite years of faithful work. Some disappointments were going to arrive no matter how carefully I had prepared. Little by little, I realized I wasn't simply disappointed that life wasn't fair. I was disappointed because I still hoped fairness would eventually win. There were seasons when I had done everything I knew to do and still watched the outcome slip through my hands. I worked hard. I tried to treat people well. I prepared. I prayed. I made the best decisions I knew how to make. And yet some doors still closed. Some opportunities still disappeared. Some relationships still fractured. If I'm honest, those were the seasons that forced me to confront a question I had quietly carried for years. What if faithfulness was never God's promise that life would always feel fair? The older I get, the more I realize many of us quietly live by the same equation. If I'm faithful, if I'm honest, if I work hard, if I make wise decisions, then surely life will return those investments in predictable ways. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Parents still get sick. Careers still change. Relationships still fracture. Dreams still take unexpected turns. For a long time, I wanted life to make more sense than it seemed to. I wanted goodness to produce immediate reward and wrongdoing to produce immediate consequence. I wanted fairness. Then one day it occurred to me that fairness has never really been the story of the gospel. Justice matters deeply to God. Righteousness matters. Truth matters. But the cross has never been a story about fairness. If it were, I would still be carrying my own sin. Instead, it is the story of grace. The only truly innocent person who has ever lived willingly accepted the punishment that belonged to the guilty. If God had insisted on giving me only what was fair, I would have very little reason for hope. Grace isn't fair. Mercy isn't fair. Forgiveness isn't fair. There's something far better. Somewhere along the way, I realized I had quietly confused fairness with God's goodness. I assumed that if God was good, life should feel fair. Now I wonder if His goodness has been revealing itself in a completely different way all along. Not by preventing every disappointment, not by making sure every honest person always wins, not by arranging life so every story unfolds exactly as I would have written it, but by remaining faithful in the middle of stories that don't seem fair at all. Perhaps that's why I think differently about life's disappointments now. I still believe in justice. I still believe we should treat people fairly. I still believe integrity matters. But I've stopped asking fairness to carry a weight it was never designed to hold. Fairness was never promised. Grace was. And the older I get, the more grateful I become that God has never treated me according to what was fair. Because if he had, I would still be trying to earn what he has always been willing to give.